Ian, not the result you were looking for. First and foremost, give us your initial thoughts.
Scrappy game, difficult conditions, wind didn't help obviously. Probably didn't start playing really until the second half. They scored against the run of play, sloppy goal, poor goal. And then we got to go and chase the game. And then it leaves you a little bit exposed at the back, which it did. I felt we created 4 or 5 really good chances. We got in some fantastic areas. And when the luck's not going for you, you have to make your own luck sometimes. Before Christmas, 4 or 5 of them crosses going across the face of the goal, we'd have had people coming in the back post and scoring. At the moment, they're not ending up in them areas, and I think there were massive opportunities for us to get something back out of the game, which we didn't take. And in the end, we've lost 1-0, which is a poor goal that's gone through Michael's legs. But then Michael's made 2 unbelievable saves late on to keep us in it, because we've had to go and chase the game. And as I say, they're the things that are happening at the moment. We just got to stay really positive. And I felt there was a bit of negativity around today, and we've got to stay away from that, because it transfers to the players. And this football team has had a fantastic season so far, and we've got to be careful we just don't forget what's gone in the first half of the season. Nobody's sitting here and accepting that the season's over. We're actively out there looking to bring players in. We've also got to remember we've got some very good players at this football club that are going through a little bit of lack of confidence, a little bit of lack of form, a little bit of tiredness, and we're here to help them. And the one thing won't help is getting on their backs.
Dave, great to see you back. You're on the bench today. Before we get into your insight of today's game, for the Saints fans, quickly tell us, you're feeling better, you're slowly getting back, ready for some action?
Yeah, I'm maybe a week, 10 days away from being available to start a game, but definitely moving in the right direction. The old body's getting back in the swing of things.
Good to see you back on the bench. And just from your perspective, you've seen the game inside and out. How would you describe that game today from a central midfield perspective?
It's a difficult one. It was a very back to front game. That's the way they played, and we sort of got caught playing the same way they did today. Very scrappy game. Pitch had dried out, makes it very bobbly, and that just goes with that sort of game. But yeah, it was a scrappy game, like the gaffer said. I think we had the better chances. Bad goal from our point of view, but as he said, Jono made unbelievable save after that. So and he's been brilliant this season. So no one's giving him any pelters in there, and we're all behind each other.
Yeah, well said. MJ, 2 fantastic saves in that second half. Ian, you mentioned about the opportunities, the crosses coming in, open goals, if you like, to just slot it in. The last 10 minutes, you did go for it, and it did give us, when you talk about, the positivity of what's going on, it's because we're comparing to them first half of the season. The football was outstanding from the Saints. There was opportunities there to come back into it, and it showed glimpses in the last 10 minutes that you're getting back to that.
We certainly did, and some of the movement and some of the passing and some of the chances we created was exactly what we did in the first half of the season. I just said there, when you take Eastbourne and when you take Billericay and when you take Dulwich, Zane against Dulwich, Mitchell against Eastbourne, Sean against Billericay, they're exactly the same opportunities, and they arrived at the back post and just slotted them in by side footing them home. We've had 3 or 4 today that have gone across the face of their goal, and we've had no one arriving. So that's why I'll question players for not being in the box and arriving late. They're the little things that we have to get, and they need to get a confidence to go in the box and arrive late and get across the face of the goal and score goals. Now that's the only way we're going to get back into it. As I say, was there a lack of effort? No, there isn't a lack of effort. Is there a lack of application to the place? No, there isn't. I've seen these boys train, I've seen how they work, and I see how their GPS vests are coming out in terms of the amount of effort and kilometres they're covering in a game. There's no lack of effort at this football club. The coaches are working unbelievably hard. We're out there actively trying to sign 1 or 2 players now to just to give the squad a bit of a rest, because I don't want to lose any of these players. They're good players, and you don't become bad players overnight. As I said, first half of the season was fantastic. They were sharp, they were bright, they were alert, a little bit of confidence. They've lost a little bit of confidence, but as I said, with the GPS vests, they're covering the miles, they're getting it all in, they're putting the energy in. Just need a little bit of luck. And all of a sudden we've lost 2 games in 5 days, and it's like the end of the world. We've just won 2 games. We've just beat Slough, and we just beat Havant. And now all of a sudden you lose 2 games. There's some booing today, which I thought was disappointing. There's some moaning, and I thought was disappointing. We need the crowd behind us. First half of this season, the crowd were unbelievable. You know, we don't need that negativity at the end of the day. These boys don't need it because they need the confidence, and the only way they're going to get that is get behind them, support them, help them like they were in the first half of the season, because the supporters this year have been outstanding. Now, if they turn on the players, it's going to be a tough time for them to come back from. You know, we've got 7 home games, and we need 7 crowds here that are going to get behind these players, because we're going to need every win we're going to need for the rest of this season. We need the supporters behind us, we need the crowd behind us, and the more they do that, the more they're going to help these players, because they're not poor players. They don't become poor players overnight. They're just lacking a little bit in terms of, as I say, tiredness, a little bit of confidence, and a couple of goals either way, and we'll just turn the whole of this season around.
And Dave, from a midfield point of view, young Hugh Dawson, I think it was around the 85th, 86th minute. He's on the edge of the area, collects from Zane Banton, controls it, beautiful shot. I thought he was going to score, similar to Corinthian Casuals in the FA Cup. I mean, no doubt you've been helping him out and just being there as a mentor. He's progressing well, right?
Of course, he's a young boy. He's done very well. Him and Alex this season, they played a lot of games in a successful period for the club. They're going to look back on this, even if they go on to have great careers, they'll remember these times. And I think the pair of them have done really well. Been asked to play a lot of games, and as you say, especially for them young boys, they don't need the crowd turning on people. It's hard enough for an experienced professional, but for a young lad, it's not good for anyone.
And you both make really important points there, don't you? I mean, there was another 1,200 plus in Clarence Park again this season. Fantastic.
It's great. They're coming out this year, and our form has made them come out. And we'd like them to stay to the end of the season in a positive manner.
Yeah, brilliant, Dave. And Ian, just finally on that, you know, when a team goes through a dip in confidence, it's looking at the bigger picture, isn't it? And we get emotional when it comes to sport, don't we, in football? And you're right, everybody needs to pull together when the chips are down, don't they? Because it's about, there's plenty of games left. There's a couple of points in this, getting right up that table, and there's still games in hand. And I know, obviously, points are better, but there's still that opportunity, right?
Chippenham lost today. Ebbsfleet lost today. Dulwich lost today. Eastbourne lost today. So we're in a crisis. We're 1 point from the playoffs with 4 games in hand or 3 games in hand. So we're not in a crisis. We're going through a dip in form. I think out of the last 7 games we've won 3, drawn 2 and lost 2. So we're not scoring the amount of goals we were scoring at the beginning of the season. Sean's not getting the opportunities, but I say that Sean's had 2 opportunities in the first half today and hasn't taken them. But teams are aware of him. Mitchell's had a bad knee for sort of 6 weeks now, which, you know, he's done really well to come through, and he's through the other side of that. But as I say, we're actively trying to get 1 or 2 players in this week. We want to make the squad stronger. And we need to rotate players because we need to make sure the players are fresh. At the moment, it's been a tough week last week. You know, I haven't gone on about the two games against Ebbsfleet and haven't been against full-time professionals because I think we're a fit side. I keep telling you, the GPS tells me we're a fit side. So that wasn't a difference. I felt we weren't good enough on Tuesday night against a really good Ebbsfleet side. We give some sloppy goals away. We've given a sloppy goal away today. We've created chances today. We've just not been quite good enough. And we have to accept that. You're not going to win every game of football, but no one's giving up at this football club. I don't want the crowd to give up on us. I want them to keep coming back in their numbers. As David said there, the crowd this season have been outstanding. They've helped us in numbers of games this year to get over the line. We've just not managed to do it today. But, you know, we'll keep...
It's not for a want to try.
No, we'll keep continuing to try to do what we're doing. We'll keep working hard with these boys. And as I say, I'm not going to come out and I'm not going to throw any one of these boys under the bus because these are a special bunch in terms of the way they've behaved this season, the way they've played, and the way they've put their neck on the line for this football club. And for me as the manager, and for him as the club captain, these boys have worked extremely hard. And I'm not in a position now to say that you're going to go somewhere else because we've lost a couple of games. We've lost 2 games on the trot. Disappointing. Nobody's more disappointed than I'll be. We won 2 games prior to that. Now we've got to get back to winning ways as quickly as we can. Concord have had an unbelievable result today to beat Havant 3-1. You know, so there's a lot of clubs in for a lot of places. We just got to make sure we win as many games as we can out of the final 17 and make sure we're in the playoffs at the end of the season. And that's what our goal is.
Fantastic. And Dave, finally, if there's one ingredient from a player's perspective, you've no doubt been in the highs and lows of football as a player for a long time. What one ingredient are you going to be encouraging your sort of teammates over the next week?
Confidence. It's the main ingredient.
Fantastic. And it's hard, right? It's hard to get.
It is, but I just feel we're just slightly lacking in that. When that comes back, you'll see a different team.
Fantastic.
And Graham, all I say to you, there's no shouting or screaming or hollering in there. All we're trying to do is just try and build people's confidence back up. But that happens through losing the game of football. It happens through giving the ball away. It happens through doing things slightly, not to the level they were doing before. But as I say, and sometimes when you get a little bit tired, you just become a little bit sloppy in terms of some of the stuff you're doing. But we're there to help them, as I said to you. We'll help these boys as much as we can because, they're a good group, and what they did in the first half of the season has been fantastic. And we've got to try and continue it for the last part of the season.
And finally, on that, Ian, you're right. This is the same squad, bar a few people that have come and gone. They've entertained us down here, and that's the thing, isn't it? The opening games of the season, the football was amazing for this level, and the team you put together and the squad you put together was fantastic. It's a bit of a lull. The challenge is getting out of that lull. You will. It's just about when, right?
We've got to do it as quickly as we can. We've got 17 games, as I said, and we've just got to try and win as many games as we can. And we might even go for another period like we are now. But it's how we come out of them periods, as I said to you. I'm standing here tonight, a team that's ninth with 3 games and 4 games in hand and 1 point from the playoffs. So yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed because I expected something from Tuesday night and I expected something from today. And let's not get wrong. Braintree have improved enormously. Ryan's done a fantastic job with them. You can see that the mentality in them, they don't want to score, they don't want to concede goals. He's done a great job. You see how hard it was when we played them with 10 men and we couldn't break them down, and we haven't broken them down today when they've had 11 men. Disappointed with the goal we conceded. We have to be better on that, but we have to go again. As I say, we have to dig in deep. We have to get the players back to the level they was, and that's going to happen. That'll happen in the next few weeks, hopefully. I need it to happen on Tuesday night, but we need to get this guy back as well because he's a special player who gets us ticking over when he's playing.
Absolutely, and I won't talk about age or anything, Dave, because I say that a lot on commentary, but it'd be great to see you back. And Ian, thanks for your honesty as always, and Dave, we look forward to seeing you back when you can.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Graham. Appreciate that.